What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers had themselves quite the draft. With the 17th pick, they got Jalen Hood Schifino, and with the 40th pick, they got what many was projected to be a first-round pick. Some even had him in the teens at Maxwell Lewis. Now, these are two guys that could come in and I believe have potential to make an impact. Not going to be starting level guys. They're not going to be anything like that, but they are guys that could come in and actually play solid minutes in whatever role that they are asked in, right? These are two guys that I do believe could come in and play 10, 15 minutes a game on any given night and actually play a consistent role. Both of these guys can defend. Both of them have good size. I mean, you're talking Schifino, 6'6", combo guard, kind of in the mold of a Jamal Murray. I like him. Like Jamal Murray and Schifino comparison, I think is really nice. Now, will he ever become Jamal Murray? That is yet to be seen. We will see how that goes. But he's a guy that has a lot of the same intangibles, a lot of the same comparisons, all of those things that you see from Jamal Murray. He is a better defender already than Jamal Murray is, but Jamal Murray has some other things that he's better at than Schifino. But Schifino could evolve into that guy. Good size 6'6", can guard 1 through 3, in some cases, maybe even a 4, not consistently, but, could switch on them, stuff like that. Maxwell Lewis gives you a quality 3-and-D guy, a guy that can come in, guard 1 through 4, can knock down shots. He's known as a shooter, a guy that could just go get a bucket. That is value. That is huge. That is a guy that could really kind of make an impact. He could be in the Mikal Bridges type mold, right? A guy that just could come in and just be third, fourth, fifth option on a roster, and you're really good. Maybe one of these guys end up developing into something. But the reason I'm bringing him up again and talking about him is because with these two guys, the impact that this could do for the Lakers free agency could be massive. It could have some ripple effects, right? Primarily with the young guys. Now, obviously, the Lakers could very well just trade Schifino and Lewis. That could be a possibility. Keep an eye on that. But if they do want to keep them, well, then what do they do with the rest of the roster, right? So Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, they're about as close to a lock as you can get for being on the roster and getting re-signed. D'Angelo Russell is kind of the question mark. And now with Schifino, you can make an argument to maybe move off of D'Angelo Russell. Now, Schifino is not going to have the impact that D'Lo has this year, most likely. You never really know, right? Nobody thought Austin Reeves was going to be Austin Reeves when we got him in undrafted, and look what ended up happening. But first year in the league, he's probably not going to get a ton of playing time, unless he just is killing everybody in scrimmages and stuff. Realistically, he's probably not going to be a huge impact guy from the jump. So that begs the question of do you keep D'Lo for a couple years and then bring in Schifino as that supplement, right? Now you let D'Lo go or you trade D'Lo later on and you have Schifino kind of play and step into that role. That could be a possibility. Or the Lakers could say, hey, let's trade D'Lo now. We could develop this guy. Let's go get a starting level point guard. Or maybe you move Austin Reeves to the point guard. You give Schifino some backup role minutes. I still would want a veteran guy just in case Schifino doesn't do very well or he has his hiccups and he has his concerns, right? He did turn the ball over a lot in college. So, is he going to be able to take care of the ball? Those are all question marks, right? I think it could potentially impact D'Angelo Russell in the way that they operate. They could look at it as okay, this gives us the ability to move off of D'Angelo Russell. Now, if they did do that, they could bring D'Lo in and then maybe trade him at the trade deadline rather than this offseason. Sign him now, and then once once he is trade eligible, then you can now go and work that out and go and maybe make a trade to unload D'Lo. That could be a possibility, especially if Schifino does start stepping. Let's say Schifino's getting 15 minutes a game and he's killing it. Say in 15 minutes he's giving us 10 3-and-3 or something like that, or 8 3-and-3, and you're just dude, what could he do in 30 minutes a game? and you give them, a handful of games with 30 minutes, and it's like, oh no, this dude's, 15, 5, and 5. Like, okay, right? Like we got, and he's a good defender. That could be something that could, if that were to develop, could not bode well for D'Angelo Russell. The Lakers have this young core that they have intact, right? You got Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell. You got Malik Beasley, Mo Bamba, which both of those guys very well could be on their way out. And the Lakers may have found their Mo Bamba replacement in Colin Castleton, which I think that could be pretty interesting as well. I think he has a lot of potential. It kind of reminds me of like a Zach Collins guy. That could be something that we could see him come in. Maybe they trade or unload Mo Bamba and give Castleton an opportunity to kind of play. Athletic, just solid type. Again, Zach Collins. Like if Lakers added Zach Collins, that would be a great pickup, right? Well, that's kind of what Colin Castleton is. So again, you kind of see these young guys coming in that kind of fit a lot of what the Lakers want. Now, obviously, if the route is you could also just keep these guys and hope that these rookies make an impact and the limited time that they're playing, and now you're just deeper. Now you just got more talent. Now you just got more things. But does this start making guys expendable, right? If Maxwell Lewis can become a legit defender and shoot the ball quality-wise, right? Well, Jared Vanderbilt, right? Like, do the Lakers say, well, now we can move off of Jared Vanderbilt, right? Like, we got a young version of Jared Vanderbilt who can shoot the ball, right? Jared Vanderbilt, in my opinion, is already a better defender than Lewis, but, can Lewis be comparable defensively? Because Lewis is already a better shooter and scorer than Vanderbilt. So if you can give me better offense and maybe not the elite level of defense that Vanderbilt can give you, but really good defense, then I'd rather have that, because then he's never a liability on the court. Jared Vanderbilt at times is a liability on the court, and that could be the difference. So do the Lakers look and go, okay, well, we have Lewis, we have, these guys that are really kind of in the mold of what we're looking for the future and could help now. Let's start unloading. Let's find a deal for Malik Beasley, Mo Bamba, and maybe Jared Vanderbilt as like the sweetener, as the little kicker for a team that might be interested, right? Like, okay, now maybe you could get a quality piece or two. Because right now, I don't think the Lakers would include Jared Vanderbilt into a deal unless it was like, a star, right? Like if you could go get Damian Lillard but you had to include Jared Vanderbilt, then yeah, absolutely. I think the Lakers, like Jared Vanderbilt's not going to be the difference between getting Damian Lillard or not. Not saying they will, just using it as an example, but get my point, right? Like depending on what the trade is, he's not going to be off limits. But to just go do a trade for, like Malik Beasley and Mo Bamba for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner or something like that, I imagine the Lakers would want to keep Jared Vanderbilt. But if Lewis kind of is like, oh, wait a minute, no, this guy is really good. Like this guy is a lot of what we want him to be, right? Like he is comparable defensively to Jared Vanderbilt, maybe not to the elite level, but he's a much better offensive player. Well, now Jared Vanderbilt could become expendable. I really think that these guys could have ripple effects on the current roster and kind of see how this all plays out. It's going to be very interesting to kind of see how this looks, right? How do they look in Summer League? Going to be a real factor. And then once we get into training camp, what pieces do the Lakers sign? And do they actually keep the guys, right? Because those are all things. Like, do the Lakers actually keep all of their draft picks, or do they end up trading them at some point? Because they can't technically trade them till July 1st. So we won't know anything till July 1st, or at the bare minimum, right? It doesn't have to be on July 1st. It's just that's like the beginning date. So do the Lakers go, well, we already have enough of a young core going forward, right? Because, I mean, you got D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, right? Like you have Max Christie. all of these guys. Like, you already have 5 or 6 quality young players. At some point, you're going to have to pay all these guys. At some point, you're going to have to make tough decisions on these guys regardless. If you can turn some of these guys into, like, oh, here's like a star, here's our chance to go win a championship, then the Lakers are going to do it. I mean, even Rob Pelinka himself in the press conference yesterday said that. That, like, look, these guys, like, our goal is to win a championship here. We're going to try to go and win a championship. So these are all things that could be very interesting for the Lakers. And I'm curious to see how this all plays out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that these new draft picks make some of these guys expendable? Do you think that no, it kind of doesn't really matter, it's all good, keep all of them? Do you think that no, like, package these guys, package other guys, go get guys that can help you win now? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it either way down in the comment section.